I kind of shows off. I think long-term Tesla Energy will be roughly the same size as Tesla Automotive. I mean the energy business collectively is bigger than the automotive business, so you see like how big is the energy sector bigger than automotive. The mission of Tesla is to accelerate sustainable energy. So I can't emphasize enough the battery and solar will both be enormous. What if it told you that there was a major sector of Tesla's business that is about to solar and that it's largely being ignored by almost every single analyst and retail investor that follows Tesla stock? That sector is of course Tesla Energy. I see so many Tesla investors out there, myself included. We closely follow the automotive side of the business, and most analysts are looking only at production and delivery expectations for the next 5 to 10 years. And then we have things like full self-driving and robot access and Tesla Bot, which most analysts are not going to put in their valuations at all because they're not real yet, and most Tesla retail investors are excited for but can't really. They wrap their heads around the value either. And then we have this thing called Tesla Energy, which has pretty much been forgotten about over recent years, and understandably so. It's been such a stagnant part of Tesla's business for so long that it feels like it's this ignored step-sibling that no one wants to talk about anymore. But as we heard Elon point out in the opening, Tesla Energy is still expected to one day match or exceed the auto business, and we know from looking at some of the largest companies in the world that the energy opportunity is massive. And in today's video I'm going to lay out why that time for Tesla Energy is right now. Tesla Energy has already started its exponential growth curve this past quarter, and it's on pace to match the automotive side in the years to come. Its impact on Tesla's business and Tesla stock will become undeniable starting in 2023 and beyond. And in order to understand why energy is set to explode, we first have to understand why it's been stagnant for so long. We'll prioritize batteries for vehicles, but then use any excess cells that we have in the Powerwall and Mega Pack. Over time we think the demand for stationary storage is going to be at least as high as the demand for vehicles. You know, some of us players have just asked me outright, are we going to just put them out of business or something? I'm like, not at all. As many cells as you want to make and supply to us at an affordable price, we will by no limit. It's basically telling these players literally as much as you can make will take. Tesla has made it very clear over recent years that they have prioritized batteries, chips and other material constraints for their cars. Tesla and their suppliers have both been hit really hard by COVID lockdowns in China over the last couple years, and Tesla's been very open and honest about the struggles that they've had ramping up the 4,680 battery cells, but all of that seems to be coming to an end at the same time. Finally this September, Tesla executive Martin V. Joss said at the Goldman Sachs Tech Comp reference that this is the first time in the history of Tesla that they have all the batteries and materials they need for both the automotive side and the energy side. His exact quote was, "For the first time I can remember, we can access all the supply we need for both businesses." We also heard a ton of amazing nuggets on the Q3 earnings call from Elon, Zach and others from Tesla about the positive results and outlook on the energy side and the exponential progress of the 4,680 batteries. Here are some of my favorite nuggets that I cut and edited from that call. We actually see the energy storage business, stationary storage, growing more like 150 to 200 a year faster than cars. On energy profitability, we achieved our strongest gross profit yet for this business, driven primarily by record volumes of our Mega Pack and Firewall products. The nutshell: 4680 ramp is growing exponentially. A production of 4680 cells has tripled in Q3 compared to the previous quarter. We are finally gaining rapid traction on the 4680 cell. We also have a second generation of manufacturing equipment for 4680 cells in Texas, which continues to show great progress along with our original pilot line. Pretty much, yeah, ramp is going well, as Elon said, until the output is up 3x quarter over quarter and production is tracking to exceed 1,000 car sets per week. Our focus is now shifting from 100 ramp to cost and further expanding production capacity in North America. We view the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act as a significant boost towards accelerating automation while Also scaling the battery supply chain at large in the United States. We believe Tesla's very well positioned to capture a significant share that sort of solar storage and also electric vehicles. We do expect to fully meet the IRA raise requirements. Our goal is to strive towards 1,000 gigawatt hours a year of English production in the United States alone. We're going to go basically pedal to the metal as fast as humanly possible to get to 1,000 gigawatts a year of production in the US. Elon Musk has warned that humanity is completely unprepared for the giant solar flares heading our way. With our increased reliance on technology and satellites, increased solar activity is a massive threat to our daily lives if we do not learn to manage it now. But what exactly can solar flares do? What can we do to manage the situation? Elon Musk has the answers. An expensive storm. SpaceX has over 3,000 satellites in orbit with plans to build a sprawling Starlink satellite network with 40,000 satellites in line with that objective. 49 satellites were sent to low orbit aboard the Falcon 9 on February 3, only to come crashing down a week later. Around the same time, a wave of solar radiation and energy particles washed over our planet due to an explosion on the surface of the sun. These eruptions, called coronal mass ejections or solar flares, reached Earth, heating up the atmosphere in the process and raising the density of the small amounts of air at an altitude of 130 miles, where the Starlink satellites were sent. Elon Musk released a statement explaining that the satellites were affected by a geomagnetic storm. 40 out of the 49 Starlink satellites were destroyed, effectively sending $50 million down the drain. Starlink satellites and other low-orbit satellites are especially vulnerable to geomagnetic storms since they are released into very low-altitude orbits and rely on onboard engines to overcome it. The force of atmospheric drag. The geomagnetic storm caused the atmospheric drag to increase by 50%, and this increase prevented the satellites from reaching higher orbits. Since they could not bear the drag, they fell back to Earth. The Starlink team tried to put the satellites in safe mode, but this effort was a little too late, as the storm prevented 80% of the satellites from reaching their destination. The good news is the satellites' re-entry into Earth's atmosphere pose no collision risk to other satellites and no part hit the ground. Additionally, a fresh set of satellites were launched on the Falcon 9 earlier this month and were placed at a higher orbit to avoid atmospheric influences contributing to another fall. But Starlink satellites were not the only systems affected by the increase in solar activity. This year, an active sunspot about to lead the visible disk off the sun shot a parting solar flare at Earth, disrupting shortwave radio communications in the Middle East and Africa. This occurred on September 16, affecting frequencies below 25 MHz. Space weather forecasters at the UK Met Office predict more flares from the lively sunspotter 3089 and believed that a coronal mass ejection might be heading to Earth as well following the flare. While this geomagnetic storm was small, Musk noted that we are far from ready to deal with more serious solar flares and geomagnetic storms that can have an impact on our everyday lives. Solar flares are huge explosions on the surface of the sun, emitting electromagnetic radiations like radio waves, X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, and visible light. Imagine a million volcanoes exploding at the same time. These flares occur when built-up magnetic energy in the solar atmosphere is released suddenly. They tend to occur from cooler regions of the sun called sunspots and are intricately tied to the 11-year cycle of solar activity driven by the sun's magnetic field. These solar flares are grouped into classes depending on the intensity of the explosion, ranging from weakest to strongest. The categories are A, B, C, M, and X. The geomagnetic storm responsible for the Starlink satellites is a small G1 class, caused by an M1 class solar flare. Another X1 flare, the most intense of them all, was spotted by NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory on October 2, and this X-class flare might have disrupted Hurricane E in disaster response, affecting rescue workers using 25 MHz radios to communicate effects of solar flares on Earth. The first geomagnetic storm in recorded history was identified by British astronomer Richard Carrington in 1859. Carrington was investigating a group of sunspots and spotted a beam of light that lasted 5 minutes. The subsequent geomagnetic storm resulted in auroras visible from the northern hemisphere to as far south as the Caribbean. The glow from the auroras was enough to make miners believe that morning had come. People in the northern hemisphere in the United States could read newspapers with the aurora's light as the colorful lights dazzled many. The geomagnetic storm caused telegraph systems all over Europe and North America to fall. Spark flew from the telegraph machines and operators received severe shocks whenever they tried to use it, despite the batteries being down and the machines disconnected. Some telegraph lines from New York to Pittsburgh could send messages due to the electricity in the air called the Carrington event. This was the most intense solar flare to occur in the previous 500 years, and if it happened today with the technology that we have in place, it would affect whole continents and its effects would be felt for years. This was emphasized by researchers from the Atmospheric and Environmental Research Agency, saying that such an event today would result in close to $2 trillion in damages. But before that happens, make sure you hit the like button if you are enjoying the video and subscribe to keep up with the latest news on Elon Musk. While in most cases the effect of solar storms results in dazzling displays of aurora, powerful storms can do much more, like taking down satellites in their entirety. It can also throw out our ability to accurately predict the positions of objects in low Earth orbit using radar measurement. The Space Surveillance Network tracks down the location of defunct spacecrafts and debris, ensuring that satellite operators like SpaceX receive timely warnings when their satellites are in proximity of space debris. But this cannot happen during a powerful solar storm, according to solar physicist and director of the Space Weather Technology Center at the University of Colorado, Tom Berger. In the largest storms the eras in, the orbital trajectories become so large that essentially the catalog of orbital objects is invalidated. Objects can end up kilometers away from their initial location, and may remain lost until they are found again using radar. Most people are gradually becoming aware of this phenomenon, but the Earth is no stranger to the sun's wrath. In 1972, a major solar flare knocked out long-distance phone communication across several states, causing it to redesign its power system for transatlantic cables. In Canada, 6 million people were left without electricity for 9 hours due to a geomagnetic storm. The solar storms of 2003, now dubbed the Halloween storms of 2003, caused aircraft to be rerouted, affected satellite systems in and caused power outages in Sweden. The current solar cycle 25 is intensifying as it approaches its peak in the next 1 to 2 years, and scientists are warning that this could be the most active one since record-keeping started in the 1700s. This is what it means for us. The sun's activity in solar events will increase between 2023 to 2025 and will affect the technology here on Earth, our communication systems, as well as the satellites and astronauts in space. Electric power grids and national systems will be disrupted. The impending solar storms in space weather will drive intense electric currents, causing damage to important infrastructure. Expensive power outages and high costs of repair and maintenance during this time near polar regions might experience high fluxes of radiation in the form of energetic particles. These particles can travel to low altitudes and may become a source of concern for airplane flight crew in passenger helm. The only upside to the current cycle 25 is the impressive auroral displays we'll get to see, but is there a way we can manage it? Elon Musk is more popular than ever, especially after his protracted takeover of Twitter, one of the most popular social media networks. The billionaire industrialist tries to use his massive reach to pass important messages that affect the whole of humanity. However, the powers that be are not always happy with these types of messages leaking out, so that he tried to delete these messages before they go too far. In this video we bring you a chilling message sent out by Elon Musk to warn us, but was quickly deleted from the internet. The internet is one of the most amazing inventions ever created by humans. It allows information to flow from one part of the world to another in a matter of seconds. Money can move between 3 continents in a matter of minutes. So can breaking news and trends. Long before Elon Musk bought out Twitter, The businessman had cultivated a large following of devoted followers that hang on his every word and spread it to more people through her tweets and quotes. Thanks to his influence, some obscure cryptos have become popular. Musk also used Twitter to make announcements about his multiple companies, especially Tesla, as he is the only source of information for the EV company. Musk also entertains his followers with memes which often tend to the nerdy spectrum. However, not all of Musk's tweets are explainable and some of them remain cryptic, making some of his fans conclude he is trying to pass a coded message to add to the mystery. These messages often disappear quickly and their true meaning is forever lost to humanity. A good example was a meme Musk posted about Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates. The meme was actually not new, it was created by artist Ben Garrison. However, the meme posted by Musk had been edited to remove and add new information. The photo contained, most importantly, a cartooned image of Gates and some allegations that have persisted around. The wealthy American Musk deleted the photo about 2 hours later after. What Musk was trying to say through the photo as being a hot debate ever since the original cartoon was titled The Pandemic and show Gates leaning over a step-by-step plan for instilling fear via a pandemic and eventually launching a mandatory vaccine rollout. However, in Musk's version, the vaccine rollout had been moved forward on the list and a new final step had been added. Zoom relaunch. Zoom was one of Microsoft's most disastrous products ever launched in 2006. It was meant to compete with Apple's wildly successful iPod devices but failed to make a dent in the market. It has been discontinued for years. Musk's meme version also moved the mandatory vaccine rollout into the spot originally held by blame President Trump. In Garrison's cartoon, Musk added the words, "Soon you will feel strange desire for Zoom." Gates is a prominent figure when it comes to global vaccination through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Gates has long promoted vaccines. The most popular is the polio vaccine. In many countries have Gates to thank for wiping out polio. Is also promote to the vaccine being used to fight COVID-19. Some who oppose vaccines have made serious allegations about the billionaire, one such as that Gates was seeking to secretly implant microchips into the population via COVID-19 vaccines. Gates has denied such theories. Was Musk trying to sound a warning about a global health crisis? Interestingly, the original creator of the cartoon, Garrison, added the following message to describe the cartoon on his website. Why did a former computer nerd and mogul become so interested in vaccination and disease? Possibly because he's worth over $100 billion, who thinks he owns the world. He also wants to make an impact on humanity, getting rid of excess humanity that hits. Garrison was eventually suspended from Twitter. Perhaps Musk, a free speech absolutist, would let him return to the platform soon. One of the companies controlled by Musk is Neuralink, and some of the things the company is up to can get scary because of their implications. For example, it is common knowledge that dinosaurs became extinct millions of years ago. However, thanks to fossil evidence, we know what some of them. If you think you're like, what is education like? You're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education, because it shouldn't be like this. Huge tour. The more you can gamify process of learning, the better. To agree that you can make somehow learning like a game, that's better. And I think unfortunately, a lot of education is very bored. Billion, you've got someone standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row and they're not very excited about it. That lack of enthusiasm, is conveyed to the students. They're not very excited about it. They don't know why they're there. Why are we learning this stuff? We don't even know why. In fact, I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them, because they never use them in the future. Well, you have to say, people, I think, don't stand back and say, well, why are we teaching people these things? And we should tell them probably why we're teaching these things, because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're so. I think that's pretty important, and just make it entertaining. But I think just in general, conventional education should be massively overhauling. I think if you can explain the why of things, then that makes a huge difference to people's motivation. They understand purpose. Studying it to solving a problem is, I think, very powerful for establishing relevance and getting kids excited about what they're working on and having the knowledge stick. What is a solar panel? How does all the dynamics work? And How do we power this thing? How do batteries work? Electronics control systems that they're like, oh, we want to make our satellite work. That's why we need to understand all these disciplines. There are definitely some good schools out there, but I think some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that I see being made in education is that the teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. You just sort of get dumped into math and, like, well, why are you learning math? What's the point of this? Why I'm being asked to do these strange problems, you know? It's difference between if you say, well, we're going to take apart this engine and see how it works and put it back together again. And then in order to take the engine apart we need, you know, wrenches and screwdrivers and a winch and Allen keys and whatnot, and so that, and then in the course of solving the problem of taking the engine upon putting it back together, you learn about wrenches and screwdrivers and all the tools that you need, and then now you understand the relevance. This is why branches are important. Whereas if you had a CLA class on wrenches, the why of things is extremely important because our brain has evolved to not discard information that it thinks has no relevance. So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say, formulas, but you don't not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of it seems irrelevant. But I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished, so I better remember it. So the why of things is very important, in picking a problem and then using various educational tools to solve that problem. Using math or physics or economics to solve that problem is far more engaging than teaching the tools. I mean, I hated going to school. When I was a kid it was torture, so created a little school that's called Ad Astra, which means to the stars. Just didn't see that the regular schools, they weren't doing the things that I thought should be done, and actually hired a teacher who also agreed with me that there was a better way to do it. I mean, it's small, it's only got 14 kids now and it'll have 20 kids in September, but different from most other schools is that there aren't any grades. There's no, like, not grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 type of thing, making all the children go in the same grade at the same time, like an assembly line. Seems to be going pretty well, so it's important to teach problem solving, or teach to the problem, not to. Million people will be establishing a new civilization of mankind on Mars in a couple of years, decades to be precise, even though we are still a long way from making sure, with Elon Musk and NASA at the forefront. Slowly but surely we are getting there, although things appear to be going smoothly. A recent discovery on Mars by Elon Musk and NASA is set to change everything. Did they discover the existence of alien life on Mars? Does this discovery affect our habitation of Mars? Mars is anything but boring. It has previously suspected that the atmosphere of the cold hard red planet is extremely thin. Extreme dust storms can cover the entire planet. The atmosphere's carbon dioxide can get so frigid that it turns directly into snow or ice, and it has Mars quakes, a Mars version of earthquakes that regularly rumble the surface. So it should come as no surprise that this tiny red rock is one among the solar system's bodies that has been explored the most. The Romans gave the red planet its name because its bloody hue. Actually, the ancient Greeks called the planet after their god of war Ares, and they were the ones the Romans copied, though its regolith. The loose dust and rock that covers Mars's surface give the planet its distinctive bright rust hue, because it contains iron-rich minerals. Even Earth soil is a type of regolith, though it contains a lot of organic material. According to NASA, the soil turns red because the iron minerals oxidize or rust. The thin, chilly atmosphere of the red planet makes it unlikely the liquid water could survive on the Martian surface for any length of time. Some scientists contend that hydrogen detected from orbit in this region may instead suggest salty salt, while others doubt the evidence provided by features known as recurrent slopolinii, which may have spurts of brackish water flowing on the surface. This indicates that although the diameter of this desert planet is only half that of Earth, it contains the same amount of a dry terrain. The highest mountain and the longest, deepest valley in the solar system are both found on the red planet. Olympus Mons is roughly 3 times as tall as Mount Everest at 17 miles 27 kilometers in height, while the Valles Marinera system of valleys, named after the Mariner 9 probe at the Made The Discovery 1971 extends east-west for about 500 miles 4,000 kilometers, covering about one-fifth of the distance around Mars and being roughly the width of Australia. According to scientists, the stretching of the crust is what caused the Vias Marineris to rift the most. The system contains individual canyons that can be up to 60 miles 100 kilometers wide. The Vias Marineris' center section, which can be up to 370 miles 600 kilometers broad, is where the canyons come together. Some canyons have large channels coming out of the end and the stratified sediments inside. The canyons indicate that there may have one spin liquid water inside. Olympus Mons, one of the largest volcanoes in the solar system, is found on Mars. The enormous volcano is large enough to include the entire state of New Mexico. The diameter of around 370 miles 600 kilometers. Olympus Mons was formed by lava eruptions that flowed over great distances before solidifying. It is a shield volcano with slopes that rise gradually, similar to those of Hawaii and volcanoes. Other volcanic features on Mars range in size from tiny steep-sided cones to vast plains covered in hard and lava. There may still be a few smaller uptions on the planet today. Throughout Mars, there are channels, valleys and gullies which imply that liquid water may have recently flowed across the planet's surface. There are certain channels that can be 1,200 miles 2,000 kilometers long and 60 miles 100 kilometers wide. Million people will be establishing a new civilization of mankind on Mars in a couple of years, decades to be precise, even though we are still a long way from making sure, with Elon Musk and NASA at the forefront. Slowly but surely we are getting there, although things appear to be going smoothly. A recent discovery on Mars by Elon Musk and NASA is set to change everything. Did they discover the existence of alien life on Mars? Does this discovery affect our habitation of Mars? Mars is anything but boring. It has previously suspected that the atmosphere of the cold hard red planet is extremely thin. Extreme dust storms can cover the entire planet. The atmosphere's carbon dioxide can get so frigid that it turns directly into snow or rice, and it has Mars quakes, a Mars version of earthquakes that regularly rumble the surface. So it should come as no surprise that this tiny red rock is one among the solar system's bodies that has been explored the most. The Romans gave the red planet its name in honor of their god of war because its bloody hue. Actually, the ancient Greeks called the planet after their god of war Ares, and they were the ones. The Romans copiedal, though its regolith. The loose dust and rock that covers Mars's surface give the planet its distinctive bright rust hue because it contains iron-rich minerals. Even Earth soil is a type of regolith, though it contains a lot of organic material. According to NASA, the soil turns red because the iron minerals oxidize or rust. The thin, chilly atmosphere of the red planet makes it unlikely the liquid water could survive on the Martian surface for any length of time. Some scientists contend that hydrogen detected from orbit in this region may instead suggest salty salt, while others doubt the evidence provided by features known as recurrent slopolinii, which may have spurts of brackish water flowing on the surface. This indicates that although the diameter of this desert planet is only half that of Earth, it contains the same amount of a dry terrain. The highest mountain and the longest, deepest valley in the solar system are both found on the red planet. Olympus Mons is roughly 3 times as tall as Mount Everest at 17 miles 27 kilometers in height, while the Vias Marineris system of valleys named after the Mariner 9 probe at the Made. The Discovery 1971 extends east-west for about 500 miles 4,000 kilometers, covering about one-fifth of the distance around Mars and being roughly the width of Australia. According to scientists, the stretching of the crust is what caused the Vias Marineris to rift the most. The system contains individual canyons that can be up to 60 miles 100 kilometers wide. The Vias Marineris' center section, which can be up to 370 miles 600 kilometers broad, is where the canyons come together. Some canyons have large channels coming out of the end and the stratified sediments inside. The canyons indicate that there may have one spin liquid water inside. Olympus Mons, one of the largest volcanoes in the solar system, is found on Mars. The enormous volcano is large enough to include the entire state of New Mexico, the diameter of around 370 miles 600 kilometers Olympus Mons was formed by lava eruptions that flowed over great distances before solidifying. It is a shield volcano with slopes that rise gradually, similar to those of Hawaii and volcanoes. Other volcanic features on Mars range in size from tiny steep-sided cones to vast plains covered in hard and lava. There may still be a few smaller uptions on the planet today. Throughout Mars, there are channels, valleys and gullies which imply that liquid water may have recently flowed across the planet's surface. There are certain channels that can be 1,200 miles 2,000 kilometers long and 60 miles 100 kilometers wide. The rock beneath may still have water in its pores and fishes, scientists hypothesized in a 2018 study. Tesla founder and CEO Elon Musk has just introduced Tesla's first flying vehicle. If you thought you'd seen everything Tesla had to offer, you'd be dead wrong. Only a small portion of what is here awaits your discovery. Tesla Motors Incorporated keeps releasing revolutionary new features for its electric vehicles. This is something you will not believe. Elon Musk has revealed a flying vehicle. Think about it, a real-world car that can actually fly. Join me today in this video where we shall explore Tesla's first flying vehicle that has just been introduced by Elon. Many people have labeled Elon Musk as insane, and I'm beginning to wonder if they are correct. Who in their right mind would imagine a flying car? We've all heard the jet rockets and helicopters, but have you heard of a flying car? This must have stunned the entire world. Elon Musk is the man responsible for our revolutionary shift in the auto industry. He just introduced a flying Tesla car that I'm sure you are going to love. Consumers' primary motivation for purchasing a car is the expectation that it will enable them to travel from one location to another quickly and easily. The introduction of the Tesla flying car will broaden your mobility options. If you ever get stuck in traffic, you can always take to the skies, that where there's always plenty of room to move around. Flying cars will undoubtedly usher in a period of profound change in the automotive industry. The auto industry has undergone a revolution, and it is only the beginning. The invention of the steam engine signaled the start of the industry. During the pre-1800s, steam-powered engines offered solutions by enabling people to move from one place to another. Steam-powered automobiles were characterized by low power and sluggish performance. However, because the cars were not put through long distances of travel, they were quite successful. Automobile engines powered by gasoline first appeared in the late 1800s. Because gasoline engines were strong, longer, more efficient and better suited to people's needs, they were a revolutionary step forward. Even gasoline-powered vehicles have progressed from their simpler beginnings to include more high-tech models on the market today. Cars powered by gasoline, on the other hand, were not environmentally friendly. The primary cause of this is the release of carbon monoxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere by vehicles. The market is currently seeing the introduction of electric vehicles. The dream of having environmentally friendly cars is slowly but steadily becoming a reality thanks to companies like Tesla, General Motors and Ford. And did you know what else? The industry is entering a new era of revolutionary change. It's time for cars that are environmentally friendly and efficient with your time. The convenience of flying cars is an added bonus in addition to providing a more pleasant and secure ride. Tesla intends to build the first of its kind. Musk Elon himself is the creator of this game. What is Tesla's flying car like? Let us now have a look at Tesla's flying car. What is it like? We must wait for Tesla to make these vehicles available to the general public to confirm all that is said. In the meantime, Elon Musk has been testing on his preferred social media platform Twitter that his vision of Tesla flying cars is more than a pipe dream. He has, albeit a bit sketchily, revealed what it's like to ride in a Tesla flying car. From the description, the Tesla flying car is the car that the world has been waiting for. Tesla created a diverse range of things, including trucks, planes, homes and smartphones, all of which are extremely innovative. Could you imagine the Tesla flying car? What appeals about this flying car? And why would you want to own one? Let's have a look. Tesla SF flying car, as implied by the words of flying car, can take off like a rocket. However, unlike airplanes and jets, the Tesla flying car will be useful both on land and in the air how fast and how high can the Tesla car travel? Tesla's electric your current in the flying carat outfitted with cutting edge. Well, the biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do, and I think they're smarter than they actually are. They're very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vasting more than almost anyone knows. Scientists and engineers are concerned that we will shortly develop artificial intelligence that is smarter than us, and when this happens, doomsday is upon us. Elon Musk cautions against summoning the devil, imagining an immortal ruler from which we will never be able to escape. Heaven forecast horror futures akin to the Terminator, but now he appears to have taken matters into his control before humanity is destroyed. So what changed his mind, and why has he created his own AI? Join us as we explore the fatal consequences of continuing down this path. The Tesla bot saga. Elon Musk said that the electric vehicle business will construct a humanoid robot prototype nicknamed the Tesla bot. The Model S per Musk will be ready in 2022. However, the billionaire entrepreneur is infamous for exceeding his publicly declared timelines on huge flamboyant ventures. For instance, Musk stated on Twitter in 2016 that fully self-driving automobiles will be available by 2018. Writing in 2 years, summons should operate everywhere, accessible by land and not restricted by borders. You're inla, and the car is in New York. When that didn't quite work, the billionaire businessman vowed that Tesla would provide 1 million robo-taxis on the roadways in 2020. However, during Tesla's first quarter results call last spring, he tempered his tone, saying punctuality is not my strong suit. Musk claims that Tesla's self-driving cars will be available soon after receiving regulatory approval in the United States. It's unclear how his robot would interact with regulators, but Musk swears it will be friendly. Of course it's meant to be nice, Musk remarked during the Tesla bot unveiling and traverse a world made for humans. The emotion and the statement's entire premise may shock anyone familiar with Musk's long-standing general opinions on AI-powered robots. Musk's long history of concern against AI robots. While Musk is well known for his advocacy and development of artificial intelligence, that he has long been critical of the growth rate in robotics. It always seemed like he didn't support the existence of robots in our world. He has frequently mentioned a film that came out when he was only 13 years old. I like to just pay attention to what's going on with artificial intelligence, Musk said in 2014 on CNBC's Closing Bell, adding substantially, yes, I mean there's been movies about this, you know, like Terminator. In 2017 Musk openly mentioned the Terminator again, quoting his neurotechnology innovation Neuralink aims to develop brain transplants for people to interconnect with machines as a precautionary weapon against a threat like Skynet. This is the goal, to keep AI from becoming another. Here marked on Twitter following that year, Musk reiterated his caution while appearing on the annual summer gathering of the National Governors Association. It is a nonpartisan political organization located in Washington, D.C. During his address, Musk stated robots will be able to do anything and everything better than us. I have access to the most cutting-edge AI, and I believe people should be genuinely disturbed by it, Musk said, shortly after referring to a popular video of a parkour performing robot created by Wilton, Massachusetts-based robotics firm Boston Dynamics. This is nothing. That bot will be racing in the next few years, and you'll need the strobe light to see its sweet dreams. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. The timing of the announcement is dubious. The robot, dubbed Optimus, will stand 5'8", weigh 125 pounds, have human-like hands and feet, and a visual sensor to help it see. It will eventually work to remove dangerous, repetitive, monotonous occupations. However, some Wall Street analysts doubt Musk's timing. In a post-announcement report on Friday, Daniel Ives, a Tesla analyst at Wedbush Securities, called it a head-scratcher. He tried to compare the announcement to robo-taxis and other future sci-fi projects. While we acknowledge Musk's long-term technology visions, Ives wrote, a Tesla bot is not what shareholders want to see. Indeed, Musk stated on Thursday that the choice to develop Optimus was motivated not by specific production requirements but by Tesla's newfound capabilities. we're already developing the elements required for a useful humanoid robot, Musk claimed. Last 2020 Elon Musk registered himself as the richest man in the world thanks to Tesla's share price that strived through the year. Elon Musk was able to live an extravagant lifestyle. Let's check it out. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For this video, we will discover the billionaire lifestyle of Elon Musk, but before anything else, please leave a like on the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell down below so you won't miss our videos. Without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Over the past 5 decades, Elon Musk has managed to become the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, founder of the Boring Company and co-founder of OpenAI and Neuralink, all while focused on his long-term goal, escaping Earth and colonizing Mars. Musk first gained attention after he started the city guide software firm Zip2 after graduating from the University of Pennsylvania in 1997. He started a company operations with just $2,000 and some assistance from his brother Kimball and his friend Greg Corey. According to CNBC, in 1999 Elon sold Zip2 for $300 million, but Musk did not stop there. He formed SpaceX, an aerospace transport firm, in May of 2002. The company is now valued at $74 billion. He founded electric car manufacturing company Tesla a year later and served as its co since 2008. Musk has also founded Neuralink and The Boring Company in 2016 and 2017 respectively, but it hasn't always been a smooth ride for Elon. According to a tweet from Elon's mother, I and Musk, they lived in a rent-controlled apartment in Toronto after moving from South Africa in 2008. The same year the Musk-inspired Iron Man hit the big screen. Elon Musk separated from his first wife Justine Wilson, which really took a toll on his finances. According to their marital agreement at Musk detailed in his 2010 Business Insider article, Justine received $2 million from the settlement after years of surviving on a loan. Tesla's debut on the stock market in 2012 skyrocketed Musk's finances and changed his life for the better. Last 2020 Tesla shares, the price even went higher. Elon Musk was already a multi-billionaire going into 2020. Has seen his net worth more than quintuple over the course of the year. His net worth grew from about $126 to $187 billion, an increase of about 545% in the last year, according to Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. This actually earned him the crown of the world's richest man, dethroning Jeff Bezos. For a moment, if you're as rich as Elon, well, it's not going to be a surprise if you're living a luxurious lifestyle. Let's check out the lifestyle of the billionaire. Elon had multiple mansions in his portfolio, such as Bel Air mansions he had in law, which he has now sold. He started 2020 with 6 Bel Air houses to his name, but has officially given up on the title of the homeowner by the end of 2020. As another step forward to reaching his ambition of leaving Earth, and according to his own words, own no house. All 6 had a combined value of $70 million, the largest of which was sold for $29 million to a Chinese billionaire businessman, William Ding. One of these now sold houses, though, was a $17 million mansion that measures around 20,000 square feet. It had a gym, 7 bedrooms, high ceilings, a wine cellar, and a swimming pool. It's in an interview with Vogue, he said it's like a little schoolhouse on a prairie, except in Bel Air on a golf course. Most of us accept that a billionaire has a crazy car collection, and you guessed it right, Musk has a range of Teslas up to Jaguars, starting with his Jaguar 1967 E-Type. According to Forbes video, Musk has a thing for classic convertibles, which he turned into a collection, and he has had his eyes locked on the Jaguar ever since. He later said it wasn't the best for him. Describing the Jaguar, Musk said that one was like a bad girlfriend. It kept breaking down on me and causing me all sorts of trouble. Musk also owns an McLaren F1, which is very hard to acquire, and for many of the greatest supercar ever built, not so hard to acquire if you're a billionaire like Elon. Interestingly, the story that often comes up when you think about Musk's F1 is about how he crashed it, which is surely still making all the car enthusiasts cry. Elon Musk bought the car for about $1 million when he sold PayPal, a company he started as X.com, which is now one of the most popular and trusted payment platforms in the world. Apart from his luxurious cars, Musk also has a few everyday drivers such as the Audi Q7, a Porsche 911 and a BMW M5 sports cars that sits pretty in his crazy garage. A swell. Musk is also no stranger to buying Hollywood cars. One of the most famous cars he has is the James Bond car, which is a 1976 Lotus Esprit car that doubled as a submarine in a film from the series a couple of months back then. Before the launch of Tesla's Cybertruck, Musk announced in a tweet that its design was influenced partly by the submarine car from The Spy Who Loved Me. It was amazing as a little kid in South Africa to watch James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me drive his Lotus Esprit offa, pure press a button and have it transform into a submarine underwater. It was disappointed to learn that it can't actually transform. What I'm going to do is upgrade it with the Tesla electric powertrain and try to make it transform for real, Musk said in a statement after buying the car. He bought the Carat at auction anonymously in 2013 for a jaw-dropping $1 million, which could still increase in the coming decades if Musk decides to stay on Earth. With his business adventure is requiring him to go from one place to another. Musk of course owns a couple of private jets. Musk is also allegedly a notorious workaholic, pushing himself and hisco-workers to the very best. Back in 2018 during the production of Tesla Model 3. The James Webb Space Telescope has been giving us some of the best and most detailed shots of the universe we've ever seen. The telescope has taken an unprecedented peek into the early days of the universe, revealing some of the deepest and darkest secrets of our universe. But it appears that James Webb might even be capable of showing her some strange phenomenon right here in the middle of our very own galaxy. Scientists just revealed that the James Webb Telescope just discovered a huge structure at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has been performing exceptionally well since its launch in December of 2021. It remains the most advanced and powerful telescope to date, employing the use of some highly advanced equipment such as the near-infrared camera, amongst others. The very first scientific images from James Webb that were released in July captured the very essence of some of the most unexplored parts of distant galaxies. Some of the main image included more detailed shots of the Carina Nebula, the Southern Ring nebulas, well as an older group of galaxies is called Stephan's Quintet. Light from some of these galaxies has taken billions of years to reach us, indicating that what we are seeing at the early stages of formation of some of these galaxies and stars. But while photographing distant stars is quite impressive, it appears that James Webb might be used to study one of the strangest phenomena in the universe: black holes. Black holes aren't simply a strange cosmic phenomenon but are actually one of the most powerful forces in the universe. These invisible parts of space can't be photographed like stars and galaxies because they exert a gravitational pull so powerful that even light can't escape its dark abyss. But thankfully light can still persist and form patterns around these gravitational giants, forming something of a photo-negative, indicating the presence of these massive cosmic giants. An international team of researchers and astronomers set out to capture the very first image of a black hole targeting the supermassive black hole that sits at the center of our Milky Way galaxy, Sagittarius A. The image of Sagittarius A was almost impossible to capture, required the collaborative effort of multiple observatories and radio telescopes around the world. This global network of radio telescopes was called the Event Horizon Telescope, and the process with which a single image of Sagittarius A was captured was rather impressive. This network of radio telescopes operated as a single unit, making a planet-sized telescope the largest ever to be operated. A combination of 10 observatories spread across the planet worked together simultaneously, from observatories in Spain to another in the French Alps and all the way to MIT in the United States. The antennas from these observatories all needed to be synchronized down to the nanosecond such that atomic clocks were placed at each location to kickstart the process, and the exact same moment the antennas and observatories used to capture the image of Sagittarius A had to observe in radio wavelengths for one major reason. The location of Sagittarius A is smack in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, is surrounded by a thick haze of interstellar gas and dust which absorbs light at an optical wavelength. For this reason, observing the black hole using argular infrared telescope which observes in the optical wavelength would have been impossible after sinking at the antenna's astronomers focus. The Event Horizon Telescope and Sagittarius A, which sit at about 27,000 light-years away from Earth, cutting through a sea of stars, planet, and cosmic dust. Their salting data was combined and computed using complex mathematical processes which recreated the caption image their constructed image showed. The very first view of Sagittarius A, which displayed the form of a glowing donut-shaped ring of light. This ring image isn't of the black hole itself, but rather the outline of light outside. The event horizon, which is just beyond the barrier where light cannot escape, the gravity of the supermassive black hole. The bright yellow ring surrounding the black hole is a white-hot plasma with an estimated temperature of over 18 billion degrees Fahrenheit. Also, with the dimension of the ring surrounding Sagittarius A, scientists were able to determine that the supermassive black hole was roughly 4 million solar masses, meaning it was about 4 million times the mass of the Sun. It also indicated that Sagittarius A was incredibly compact and dense, with an apparent size that could fit within the orbit of Venus. This image of Sagittarius A was the very first visual confirmation that the supermassive black hole indeed existed at the center of our galaxy. Especially at a time when researchers were beginning to doubt its existence. The image proved their predicted dimensions based on Einstein's theory of general relativity were accurate, and that irrespective of their gargantuan gravitational pull, black holes still obeyed the most basic laws of quantum physics. But while the images of Sagittarius A answered previous questions about the state of the sun center of our galaxy, it posed an even bigger question after scientists discovered something incredibly strange while observing that region of space. As it turned out, the Milky Way galaxy is more bizarre than astronomers had previously anticipated, and the discovery of an invisible barrier around the center of the Milky Way galaxy has raised even further questions about the current state of our galaxy. A team of researchers from the Chinese Academy of Science had taken a keen interest in the movement of cosmic rays in and around the center of our galaxy and made a stunning discovery. The team investigated a series of maps that show the movement of radioactive gamma rays blasting through and around the center of our galaxy. Gamma rays make up the highest energy forms of light in the universe, and can arise when extremely high-speed particles known as cosmic rays crash into particles of ordinary matter. The study of the map revealed that something very near the center of the Milky Way galaxy appears to be hindering the movement of these particles and accelerating them to exceptional speeds very near the speed of light. These accelerated particles are now creating an abundance of cosmic rays and gamma rays just outside the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Also, the study revealed that although the galactic center appears to be blowing a constant storm of high-energy radiation into interstellar space, there appears to be something near the galactic core preventing other waves of cosmic rays from entering that region of space. A team of researchers explain this effect as an invisible barrier that appears to be warped around our galactic center and is actively preventing a density of cosmic rays from entering the region. This invisible barrier also appears to be keeping the concentration of cosmic rays inside the center significantly lower than those found throughout interstellar space. The study revealed that it appears cosmic rays can get out of the galactic center, but this invisible barrier makes it incredibly harder for cosmic rays to get in. The region center of our galaxy is roughly between 26,000 to 27,000 light-years away from Earth in the constellation Sagittarius. This region of space is incredibly dense and filled with cosmic dust and holds a little over 1 million times as many stars per light-year as the entire solar system. These stars and dust particles all wrap around a supermassive black hole that holds the Milky Way galaxy together. Scientists suspected Sagittarius A, or perhaps some other unidentified cosmic object located at the center of the galaxy, had been accelerating electrons and protons near the speed of light. This activity has been creating cosmic rays that shoot out throughout the Milky Way galaxy and onward to other regions of intergalactic space. These cosmic rays are constantly flowing through the magnetic field of our galaxy, creating an invisible potion of high-density particles, all of which have roughly uniform density throughout the entire Milky Way. This constant flow of particles is called the cosmic ray. A team of researchers compared the density of cosmic rays within the galactic center to that of the cosmic rays found in the cosmic ray C. Cosmic rays are impossible to see with the normal infrared telescopes, but scientists are able to map them out using gamma-ray maps of space, which indicate regions of space where cosmic rays collide with other forms of matter. Using this comparison, scientists were able to come to a conclusion that something was not only accelerating cosmic ray particles and shooting them out into space, but was also actively preventing other such particles from entering into the galactic center. The team had initially suspected that the supermassive black hole Sagittarius A was the obvious culprit. This is because black holes can theoretically accelerate and shoot particles out into space even as they appear to engulf everything else into the event horizon. It has been proven that scientists found the remnants of supernovas and strong stellar winds that originated at the early stages of the universe crammed into the center of the galaxy as they were 2022, and it's a well-established fact by now that Elon Musk has his name involved in many industries, from running the world's largest EV manufacturer Tesla to recently acquiring and running the social media giant Twitter. The tech billionaire seems to be revolutionizing every aspect of human living. However, you'd be surprised to know about the kind of residence the tech billionaire lives in. If you're thinking of a massive mansion in the middle of a luxurious neighborhood, you couldn't be more wrong. Stick around till the end of the video to know more about Elon's latest house and how you can buy it too. For those of you who are uninformed, let us brief you about Elon's current residence. In June last year, Musk wrote in a tweet informing his followers that he was selling his last remaining house. He also added that he was currently living in a house costing approximately $50,000 in Boca Chica after selling all of his 7 California homes for a whopping $128 million. This decision of Musk came after his tweet in 2020 that said that he would be downsizing his life and downing no house. The foldable property is made by a company called Boxable, and the mini house Elon lives at is known as the Casita. The Casita is a compact prefabricated housing solution and comes packed with state-of-the-art technology and futuristic gadgets. The house comes in at just under 400 square feet. The foldable design of the house allows for two things: a speedy installation in any part of the world and optimal affordability for its customers. The most exciting aspect of the Boxable Casita is probably its price, which is just under $50,000. To put that into perspective, that's less than the cost of a Tesla Model 3 sedan. Boxable's primary aim is simple: to alleviate the housing crisis in the U.S. When the coronavirus pandemic hit the world in 2020, it also triggered a housing crisis. The pandemic forced people to work from home, and as a result, millions of Americans set out to search of more space. This resulted in high demand for homes but a very low supply of new homes in the country. To add to this crisis, factors like high inflation rates, stock market crashes, a free-falling cryptocurrency market, war in Ukraine, and high food and fuel costs all indicate to a real estate crash similar to the net hat occurred in 2007-08. The Boxable Casita is easily transportable and can unfurl in under an hour to reveal a kitchen with a refrigerator, double sinks, an oven, and even a dishwasher. Along with that, the bathroom in the Casita also features a shower, counter, mirror, and sliding glass door. The house is also completely air-conditioned and also includes a bedroom, a living room, and a media room. If all this sounds impressive, it is the brainchild of the father-son duo of Paolo Tiramani and Galliano Tiramani. Although Boxable was self-funded by them, And launched in 2017, it has now gained so much popularity that the product already has over 100,000 reservations, including the U.S. federal government with an order of $9.2 million. In fact, it is one of the only building systems compatible with automobile-style factory mass production, protected by exclusive rights to 39+ patent filings. The whole concept of Boxable revolves around the idea that houses, like every other product, can be manufactured, captured in a factory assembly line, and can be shipped to the desired location. As we mentioned earlier in the video, the house can be unpacked in less than an hour, once it reaches the customer's location, while lifting equipment is required during unpacking. What makes the system so efficient is the fact that most of the unpacking work can be achieved by humans. Once the outer wall of a Boxable is unfolded, it becomes the floor of the house.